Hey, 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 hey. What's going on? What's going on with my hat is the question. What's up, people? What is up? What is up? What is up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? And what up? Hey, y'all. I won't be before you long because I know Really B is probably going to do her live around 6:30ish. So I'll try and do this and be done by then. But I wanted to educate some people and have a real conversation because over the last couple days or so, people seem not to be. What's going on, Lex Max? What's going on, Flora Bell? What's going on, Nares 21? Because people seem to act like they're clueless as to what's going on here. Okay, that's better. And I wanted to have this real conversation. And this conversation is going to be about the Rainbow Coalition and to clear up some misconceptions and to say just as if they don't understand what's happening here with a lot of stuff that's going on. So I want to parcel out a few things and I want to educate some folks and I want to bring us to a place where you really can really get an idea of what's going on, because I don't think that people are acting like some of the things that we are seeing happening in society right now are new phenomenons, and these are not new phenomenons. And at the same point, people are acting as if they are surprised by some of the antics of individuals, and they should not be. So let's talk about this. I'm going to be focusing solely on two events that have recently happened. One is going to be the young lady Sha'Carri Richardson, and the other is going to be the Breakfast Club interview that happened, I think yesterday or today. So let's parse this out. Here's the first thing. Before we get into breaking this stuff down, let me educate the masses on this stuff first. Let's be clear. If I started to talk about all things race in America, and I began to lump all people of color in the same group and say, "Oh, people of color should all be treated should all be thought of the same way. They have the same experiences. They're all the same. So what you do to one can apply to all others." And that sounds dumb. Hey, Jay Parrish, but that's because that would be saying that Black people, members of the Latinx community, Asian Pacific Islanders, Native Americans, and any other minority group are just all the same. And they have all of the same experiences. You can treat them all the same. And what you do for one, you can make that same broad stroke and do the same thing to all of them. And you all would look at me like, no, that's not the case. In the same vein, you have members of that coalition or different races that sometimes are discriminatory toward the other. For example, there are members of the Latinx community that want no parts of Black people, none, and are very discriminatory against Black people. Happens every day, all the time. If you live in a city like Miami with the Cubans, you really know what I'm talking about. And so I'm putting that example out there to start this conversation, because just like it's asinine and we look at politicians, especially white politicians, who try to say all people of color are the same and they all should be treated one way and they all should be thought of the same way, and we could just say, okay, well, we did this for Hispanic people, so that will count for us doing it toward black people since they're all people of color. And that's just not true. It's just not true. Even though black people were at the forefront of the civil rights movement, and a lot of the civil rights that black people fought for themselves, they did spread those out to other ethnicities and races. But let's be clear, these different ethnicities and races are not together, are not the same. And I'm going to expand on this. I will tell you the same thing about the letter people, the Rainbow Coalition and the letter people. Each one of those letters are a separate entity, all on its own. There's no mixing of the. They are individual um, groups, and it's kind of dangerous when people just group them all together, because just like it's dangerous to group all people of color together, it's dangerous to group all members of the LGBT together. A lesbian is not a gay person, is not gay. A lesbian is a homosexual. And here's why people like to make the term gay synonymous with all members of the spectrum of the Rainbow Coalition, because we live in a patriarchal society. And in a patriarchal society, all things male receive dominance and are looked to as the superior uh, method of nomenclature. And with that being said, that's why when you talk about when you that term gay was synonymous, the denotative aspect of it originally was a man and a man, same gender loving, a homosexual situation that involved males. Lesbians were homosexual situations involving females. So it's a misnomer to call a lesbian gay. They're not gay, they're homosexual, they're lesbian. Just like it would not make sense for you to call a gay man a lesbian because he's homosexual, but he's not a lesbian. He's a gay man. All right. All right. So I just wanted to say that first. So let's start off with Miss Richardson. People find it very hard to wrap their hands around the fact that she is a very out and proud lesbian, but can be quite homophobic toward gay men. Both can be true. She can be a homosexual and still be homophobic toward gay men. She has been very specific, very intentional, and deliberate about her hate toward gay men. Well, I don't know how long, I can't say how long she's been out, but she's very, as long as I've seen her, and this is going back to her LSU days, she has been out. Like I watch a lot of sports, I watch a lot of track. So even remember when she was at LSU, she was out there. But my point being that it asks the people in the community. There are a lot of lesbians that want no parts of gay men, don't like them, don't want to interact with them, don't want no parts of them, and are not okay with them. I'm just being very honest with you. And vice versa. In the same way, I know a whole ton of gay men who want no parts of the trans community. They don't know no trans people. They're not friends with any trans people. They ain't met none, ain't trying to be friends with none, and want no parts of the trans experience. And so people get floored because they see members of that LGBTQIA Rainbow Coalition hating on each other. But it goes back to the original thing that I said. These are not things that go like this. These are separate entities. They're like this. They're separated. They're just all put on the same hand, but they are separate entities. They're not all intertwined and intermingled like that. It does not work like that. So when people started to have a problem with gay men saying that Sha'Carri Richardson was homophobic toward gay men. They said, "Oh, she can't be homophobic because she's a lesbian." Oh, yes, the hell she can. It would be the same way if by that token, it, and I'm not gonna go down that road. But what I'm gonna say is both can be true. She could be a homosexual because they were like, "Ain't she gay? How's she gonna be homophobic?" Well, she's not gay. She's a lesbian. Clear that up. She's homosexual. She's same gender loving. She's a homosexual. That doesn't make her gay because gay is for the guys, lesbian is for the women. Let's parcel that out. I don't post about my YouTube channel on my closed Twitter account. My closed Twitter account is for only things debaucherous. Trust me, nothing from my YouTube channel makes it to my closed Twitter or vice versa. So unless it's sexy Sundays. And then if we're talking about sexy Sundays, then yeah, you'll get right, mixed. Anyway, um, but so my point being that if you are in the community, you have met and you deal with a lot of members in the community who don't like other members of the community. Like I said, hey, Miss Trisha. So you'll have lesbians that are very homophobic toward the gays. Vice versa, you'll have gay men that are very homophobic toward the lesbians. You'll have both lesbians and gay men that are transphobic. Hey, it's me, D. That are transphobic. So you have it's really not so that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about because that young lady is bigoted in her level of thinking and in her way of thinking. And the other part about it, here's the dangerous part. See, here's where it gets. See, this is where we're gonna have a real conversation. Let's have this whole real conversation now. Now, since we're going down this road, then let's go down this road. Let's do it. Let's do it, and let's do it with fervent Z and zeal. Hey, so Jeff, what's good? Remember, the heterosexual sexual community, by and large, remember I told you this is a patriarchal society, applauds and is here for a lot of the lesbians. They're here for the lesbians. They want no parts of the gay men. And so when you have a lesbian who comes out and is homophobic and speaks derogatory in a derogatory manner about an out gay person, they will be celebrated and applauded and protected by the heterosexual community because that gives the heterosexual community a person to say, well, she said that they could, that she was bad, so it must be bad because she's in that community. In the same vein, when you have racist ass white people that have the one token black person that sits up there and says, oh, so and so is not racist, they're the black, and they talk bad about black people all the time. And so the racist ass white people latch onto that one black person that has all these horrible things to say about the black community and black people. Remember how white people gravitated toward Bill Cosby when he was castigating the entirety of the black community until it wasn't convenient for them and they found out, well, knew, but it was brought out to the masses that he was raping people. Now they don't want nothing to do with him. Now he's just one of the blacks now. In the same vein, if you got what people say is a member of the LGBTQIA community speaking just horribly about a whole segment of the coalition, they're going to try to protect her. And you see all of these people out here windmilling for Sha'Carri. Oh, you all are treating her so bad. She's just outspoken. She's just speaking her mind. Let her say what she wants to say. Y'all are just hating on her. No, we're not just hating. Mm-mm, mm-mm. She was the one who's hating. And she does not get a pass. At least won't get one from me. Um, because some of the things that she said were downright horrible, deplorable. just as bad as they come. And she's not let up on them. And she is not going back on her statements. She's still here for it. And so what we end up having is now we got this big onset of heterosexual community that was probably already homophobic as well, has their poster child or someone who they can just throw up there and say, oh, well, she's in y'all community and she said that y'all are bad, so y'all gonna be bad. I will not be rooting for her. I don't. Do not be. I will not be rooting for her. In the same vein, I was like Shelly Ann Fraser Price when she walked by her and she was talking noise. And Shelly Ann Fraser Price walked by her and looked like, girl, the look that she gave, because she over there cussing and going in on the microphone or whatever. And Shelly Ann Fraser Price and Sharika Jackson walked by her like, looked at her like, girl, you do realize you just lost, right? They looked at her like, they gave her the Beyonce and Kelly look that they gave Michelle when she fell on that goddamn stage at 106 and Park. They gave her the girl and kept it moving and walking. Like, girl, you just came out here, came in last place, and you go come out here talking. No. But you know what that is? That's a Generation Z type mentality. See, she must be from Generation Z because she got a whole Generation Z mentality that their mediocrity, should be applauded and celebrated, and that you can be mediocre and you can come in last place, and then you can still come out and talk shit and tell people that, oh, y'all better respect me. Oh, y'all better see and know who I am because I'm the greatest ever. Baby, you just came in last place. This is sports. And the old adage in sports goes scoreboard. And when you don't have to talk in sports. In sports, you know what you do? You point at the scoreboard. And that ends our conversations. She is a homophobic, bigoted lesbian. All can be true. I don't want people to say she's gay. She's not gay. She's a lesbian. She's homosexual. But she's a lesbian. She's also homophobic. No, no, no. There's a reason I'm going down this road. I'm going down this road for a reason. Because I need to clear up some things. So now, because my point wasn't just on her, my point was there became this attachment from this large segment of the population that was already homophobic and now had their poster child of someone within the home LGBTQIA community that they could say, yeah, we're going to protect her. We're going to start windmilling for her because she's out here making all of these homophobic statements about the gays, and she's a member of the community, so they can't talk about her because she's one of them, and she's going to protect us. If we just say we co-sign what she said, then we can co-sign her homophobia and bigotry. And then when they try to come at us and say, but no, she said it and she's a lesbian. And then they're gonna try and prop up. Oh, y'all hating on her. Y'all just hate that she's outspoken, and y'all just hate that she want to be great. No, we just want her to shut up about these issues. We want you to shut up about these issues. We want you to shut up about these issues. Now, I'm not a fan of people telling athletes they should shut up and dribble or shut up and run, and they should not have um, things to say about things. I'm not one of those people. I'm not. But on issues concerning this, she should probably shut up. I'm just saying. Hey, Shirley. Hey, Abby. Now, as much as we like to think this society is progressive, we would be fooled and lulled into a false sense of security if we attached ourselves to that. Because just like Black people, for a while during the early Obama years, were lulled into the false sense of security. Hey, Nina. that, oh, America has come a long way with regard to race, not knowing that the racism had become inconspicuous for a little bit and was revving up and had been growing and festering and becoming worse and worse. So when it showed itself in the late Obama years and during the last administration, and even now we see it on full, display. All of the latent racism, all of the latent white supremacy and bigotry are on full display. And I mention that because if y'all think that, see, a lot of the members of the Rainbow Coalition seem to believe that, oh, society is in a better place. We could just be loud and proud, and people are just going to be tolerated, and everything's going to be good and hunky dory. Mm-mm. We ain't there yet, boo. We ain't made it to the promised land yet, boo. And I'm saying that because just like you have that groundswell of people that will latch themselves to a Sha'Carri Richardson and windmill for her and protect her at all costs, and a lot of women, I'm sorry, this is going to come out harsh. You're seeing a lot of black women who have a lot of homophobia toward the gay community, specifically the black gay community, are all behind her saying, oh, this is about women's empowerment and this is all about protecting this black woman, and how dare you talk about this black woman, dot, 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 because we're protecting this black woman. All the while, it's convenient to protect her because she's doing and saying a lot of things that you agree with. Now, I'm not going to get on here and drag Boosie Badass. He is not the problem. We know who he is. You know who the fuck needs to be dragged and canceled? The goddamn Breakfast Club, for allowing him on their platform, for allowing him a microphone with which to spew that level of venom across the fruited plains. The problem is them. They are the problem. Why are they still on our radio waves? Why are they still coming on television screens? Why are they still on the internet? Because when you get the likes of a Boosie Badass, after all of his statements that he's made, after some of the most horrific things that he has already professed to have done, you allow him on your platform so that he can get out there and just spew all kinds of just horrible things. Like, what were y'all thinking? Who's pushing the buttons back there? Who's the grown person in the room that says, yeah, we probably shouldn't have him on here? I mean, who y'all having the next day? Y'all gonna have T.I. on the next day so he can come on and talk about all of the ways that he's sexually assaulted women? That's what we're doing next. Since we want to go down this train, we're gonna do a whole interview with R. Kelly from jail so we can listen to him talk about how he how good he's been to children. Since we're going down this road, because that young man, Boosie Badass, has been very clear on who he is. He's been very clear, deliberate, and intentional with how he feels. Why are you giving him a platform? Why does he not have a microphone? Why? I mean, if we're gonna go at it, you might as well start interviewing all types of horrible people. Why not interview the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan and have him on and tell us how horrible black people are? You could just ask him questions about that if you want. Since we're just going down this road of having horrible people get platforms and you give them softball ass questions and you allow them to spew venom across. And the sad part is there are impressionable people listening to this trash that are going to side with him and say, yeah, that's the right way to think. Yeah, because if he was that bad, then the Breakfast Club probably wouldn't put him on there. If it was just that bad, they wouldn't give him a microphone. Well, obviously they will. And by giving him the microphone and a platform to spew that venom, what that says to me is that you're okay with it. Certain things you never need to let come on your mind. Would they, and I keep going down this train, but I have to, would they allow someone who is a known racist to come on there and just spew all of his racism on their radio program? Would they do that? And even in doing that, would they just let him just go on and on and on about how horrible black people are and how horrible black people are? Because remember, the same arguments that that young man Boosie Badass is making are the same arguments white America and all of their white supremacy made toward black people and people of color back in the early days of radio and back in the early days of television and back in the early days of motion picture, because they said that black people would inherently make the ratings go down, and they would have our white children speaking incorrectly, and they would make our white children believe that being black is okay. These are the same arguments that were made. But let me go even further. See, here's the real problem. A lot of black America would love to have the mantle of white privilege and white supremacy. And their own way of having their own supremacy and privilege is being able to push down a group that's smaller than them, like the black LGBTQIA community. So anytime they get the opportunity to have that same amount of supremacy and privilege and wield it and flex and use it to push down, oppress, and castigate another community, they will. We do it in our own community. Because rather than say we want equality, a lot of black people don't want equality. What they want is their own version of supremacy and privilege. Let's just be clear. And if I can wield my supremacy, and now we have this heteronormative supremacy and heteronormative privilege that they believe that they have over members of the LGBTQIA plus community. Sorry, it is what it is. And I have to put it that bluntly. So this is why you got shows like The Breakfast Club that put this ass clown on their show. You got blogs and shit like fucking Jasmine Brand and Shade Rooms and all kinds of other blogs that continue to show us comments and tweets that he's making. I'm not going to even go to the likes of Jocelyn Hernandez, because anybody that thinks that that troll has anything of substantive matter to say about anything, you're reaching. None of this has anything to do with children. None of this has anything to do with keeping, um, keeping society wholesome and real. All of this has everything really to do with power, privilege, supremacy. That is what this is about. And we will try to gain that at all costs, even if it means that we have to put down and castigate members of our own race. I gotta call it as I sees it. I gotta call it out for what it is. Call it out for what it is. I don't know. Am I looking at this wrong, people? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Because I've been known to be wrong. Please tell me if I'm wrong, because sometimes I'm not always right. But I'm telling you, I'm telling you, that's what this is all about. I am afraid that what we're about to have happen, I don't know what's going on with my camera. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's doing that thing again. Let me see if that's better. Anyway, but what I'm afraid is about to happen. You're going to start to see more and more of this, and more and more. Yeah, it's not working right. I'm gonna just stay off. You're going to start to see more and more of people who are having these conversations, and allowing these conversations to take place on platforms. You're going to start to see more and more of people attaching themselves to bigots and homophobes. You're going to see more and more of a microphone being put in front of people who will spew this venom, and they'll give some lowball, soft ass, like, oh, well, that's wrong. Oh, well, that's really not like that. All the while, they ain't really coming at them with no smoke. They're just doing that because that's what they know they're supposed to do. They ain't really coming at them with no smoke. I don't know, y'all. I just wanted to get that out, and I just wanted to call some stuff out for what it is, and hopefully y'all see what I see. Hey, Mark, I'm about to get up out of here. We were discussing a lot of homophobia and people not seeing everything for what it is. Let me see if my camera want to act right now. I don't know what's going on with my camera, y'all. Hold on. I don't know what's happening. Okay. Mm, hold on. I don't know if this is any better, but I'm about to get off here anyway. Really B should be going live real quick in a few minutes. So we'll get ready for Really B to go live. Um but I just wanted to come on and talk about that and say those things and get y'all thoughts on it. If y'all want, y'all can go back and watch the replay, get down in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Because I really want to know your thoughts about it. Because I see this stuff for what it's worth, and people are acting all surprised, like, oh, this shouldn't, I don't believe this is happening. Oh, I believe it's happening. And it's going to get worse. They're not, this is not anything new. So that's all I got for y'all. Y'all going on over there. Really be should be starting in about 5 or 10 minutes. Y'all go ahead and get yourself something to drink and something to eat and get ready for Really Be's live. I got to get ready for a conference call at 7:30. Anyway, y'all, I thank y'all for being on here with me and adding to the discussion. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.